share with you. I'm just going to talk a little bit, and let me just give my hat off to Rochelle, who's our president and doing such a fabulous job in this organization. I always speak highly of NSA and very, very privileged to be part of the family here. But I just want to talk a little bit about the writing process. Some of you have already published your books, and you're already now, the seeds of book number 2 are in the making. And some of you who haven't published will talk to you as well. But let me back up and rewind a couple of years as to why I wrote my book. I had the seeds of there, you gotta write a book, I just want to write a book, I want to write a book. How many of you know that feeling? We're all the same page. And so I went to a seminar, I'm sorry? Yes. So I went to a seminar and the speaker said, you need to write your book. And I said, wow, I get all my money for that. But then she said, I want to tell you why you should write your book and do it quickly. She said, because when you write the book, people treat you like a rock star. And I said, oh, great. I can do that. So I went home and gathered up all the notes that I had, all the sticky notes, all the notes in the book, all the books inside the book with notes about the book, all my splatterings of brilliance that are everywhere. How many of you can relate? They're everywhere, and I gathered them up. And then the next day I said, 12 o'clock, I'm going to start writing. So 12 o'clock came, and I said, oh, it's time for lunch. So I didn't write. I'll do it at 4. And then 4 o'clock came, I had a meeting, I had some stuff to do, and 4 o'clock came, and I just said, oh, it's time for Oprah. So I didn't do it. I was watching Oprah. And then I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And not by coincidence, I went, my pastor that Sunday, I go to church, I'm like in the back of my head, I'm going, I got to spend some time on Sundays, downtime after church. And my pastor says, you don't have what you want in life. Your dreams and desires have not yet manifested because you are undisciplined. And then he said, because discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. And then I really said, because I've been taught that if you can't say amen, you say ouch. Everybody repeat after me, please, together. We say ouch. Ouch. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. So it took me so long to pull all that together because I just wasn't disciplined. And again, not by coincidence, I went to a seminar given by a gentleman named Fred Lee. It's with NSA, and it was how to publish your book and make $250,000 a year. I think something like that. I was like, I know I can do this. Rock star, right? So one of the interesting things Fred did when he came in, he had a big duffel bag with stuff, and he dumped the duffel bag on the table. And Carol, he says, look at these books, look at these books. And he starts reading. How not to marry a stupid man. Picks up another one. How not to be the best man at the wedding of the man who's a stupid man. He was just reading all these crazy titles, and he said, these people have books. And he says, clearly, they are not smarter than you. Why don't you have your book? And so there was a laugh in the room, and then he said something that really, really moved me, and it caused me to act. He said, I bet you though, if I told you, if I put a gun to your head and told you that you had better, Mark, come to me Monday morning, and we were there on a Thursday evening, you better come on Monday morning and have your book, or it's lights out. I bet you would have the manuscript ready to go. And we all just shook our heads. Yes, it was a collective agreement in the room. And so with that, between the pastor and Fred kind of motivated me, and this can serve as motivation for you, this Author 101, to really, really get going about writing. I went home and I did what Carrie did. I gave myself a 90-day deadline. So I want to challenge you to have this manuscript, second one, first one, or to be published, if you're there already with the manuscript. Give yourself 90 days. That would be December 14th. I know the holidays are coming, but I can speak for the panel that we stand with you and support you in getting this done. You owe the universe this book. It is time to do this thing. So what I did what Karen did, and thank you so much because it worked for me. I gave myself 90 writing no less than 20 minutes a day. I didn't care how I felt. I didn't care if I was half dead. I was going to write for 20 days. And it taught me to be disciplined. The thing I was missing, the bridge between thought and accomplishment. That 90 days. And some days I must confess to you, Marcy, that I was only working on the table of contents. I was not doing anything deep or profound. There were other days I was working on the acknowledgement section. But I was writing and I was in the groove of beginning to be a published author. The other thing I learned is don't edit while you write, because it really chops at the creative genius, so I stopped doing that. I hired an editor, and a good editor, I've learned now, will never take away from what you're putting forth. He or she just says, well, this idea is better suited in your next book, Tonya Kerry. He or she will say, these, you need a few bullet points here. You need another paragraph here. This is off or that is off. That's what a good editor does. And also, when you have the book, you can go to meetings and you can sell them if they can't pay you. And now you have your rock star status because the people will want your book in lieu of you being paid. And one of the things